Oh, I completely forgot about that one.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Generic Control in the Duck Goes. We're back with some more DBcember. Today we are finishing up the top 12 transformations of Dragon Ball according to Team 4-Star. You want to check my reaction to the last batch, which I think was 6, 5, and 4. I'll leave it right up there. Also link down below in the description. Also be playlist on my channel with all of my other DBcember reactions going in chronological order. And I think after this we're going to jump into the sagas, which is this past year, which was 2021, which I believe was the last DBcember that they were doing. So I don't know what we're going to do after that. My best friend Kirby hit 12,000 followers on TikTok, so I will definitely be showing her Dragon Ball Z Abridged after we get caught up with SAO Abridged, so that'll probably be around July-ish whenever we would start that, so I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you're all sticking around for that. I hope you're subscribed. Shout out to the patrons. Thank you for this day early. Allow me to have a Patreon channel. Apparently, Super Saiyan 2 isn't going to be in the top 3. I thought the top 2 of the top 3 would be Super Saiyan 1, or just Super Saiyan, and then Super Saiyan 2, but apparently that might not be the case, and I'm not sure what else is going to be in that. I know at least 1 or 2 is going to be in the top 3, but we're definitely going to find out today. I read every comment, so leave some down below. Hope you're having a great day. Hopefully I can make it better. Thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers, and let's go ahead and jump into this video. Yeah, last video. You all showed so much support for the last video.
In the original manga canon of Dragon Ball, at least in Japan, the designation of Z was never used. It was only created for the anime to signal that it was a sequel series to the original,
86,
and that it was
89,
supposedly
okay.
the ending of the story.
Yeah, which apparently it's still ongoing. He has not ended it yet.
One thing that the delineation provided was framing for a specific character. See, at this stage in the story, Goku's not only grown up, but he's also discovered the wonders of making babies. And when he shows up to Kame-sen's place with his
Super Saiyan 2 is top 3.
Gohan in tow,
I was right. Okay.
Being set on an inevitable
Adam, you were like
with this tiny tyke. One that would
Adam was like, how is Super Saiyan 2
going
doing there?
emotionally explosive moments the franchise would ever see.
Day of Fate.
We think it's fair to say that
Yes.
Toriyama's writing for Gohan is contentious. While he does feature largely as a main character throughout the entire
I can't wait to show Kirby that.
Introduction, he rarely gets to
She's
stand
gonna
on his
react
own
to it.
and
It's gonna
feel
be
like
great.
a protagonist in this story.
But at the very least, Toriyama seeds the nature of Gohan's power early on. And though his presence in the narrative is lacking at points, this particular feature of his character does remain consistent, and the payoff in the Cell Saga is still genuinely a fan favorite for the entirety of the fandom.
From his attack on Raditz and his reaction to Piccolo's death by Nappa, to his assault on Frieza at the apparent death of Krillin, we see that his explosive temper is quite
He gets mad
literal.
sometimes.
His powers are tied to his emotions, and at times of great stress and anger, his output is
I
enough
love
to
that song in the
genuinely
background.
eclipse the seasoned fighters
I
around
listen to
him.
it from time to time.
There's something big in this small package, and throughout the series, we see glimpses at it.
Which plays well with
Wait,
very nature
that
of
silhouette
Gohan's
might not have
character.
been Chaozu.
At first, he's afraid to commit to combat, but after the loss of his mentor, he finds new meaning in battle. And throughout the Namek Saga, when it's time to put fists to faces, he doesn't hesitate. But there's always a certain gentleness to him. He's a fighter.
He doesn't want to fight.
He's not like his father. He fights to defend himself and others more than anything.
So when he's brought to the hyperbolic time chamber, or room of spirit and time, if that's your speed, he's willing to take up the task of training with his father in order to help combat Cell should Vegeta and Trunks find themselves unable to take on the job. But when they come out to find that Vegeta had screwed the pooch into oblivion, Gohan believes it's his father who will save the day.
You know, because he's Goku. He is the hero guy.
But in the lead up to the Cell games, Goku doesn't hesitate to tell everyone, no, I'm not strong enough to defeat Cell. And his comfort in telling him that gets the audience guessing. So when Goku finally concedes to Cell and tags in Gohan, now it all makes sense. This is what it's been building up to.
If it seems like we're spending too much time on the preamble, it's because Super Saiyan 2 is, in some ways, a more thematically and narratively important transformation than the original Super Saiyan.
Which is why,
could
you thought the ceiling was Super Saiyan 1, and then they bust through that ceiling.
It's literally a breakthrough for him, and the moment itself is a doozy.
It's almost uncharacteristic how Gohan is afraid to commit to this fight, given his time on Namek before this and all the training he'd undergone with Goku. But truth be told, there's an undeniable darkness to this transformation. Gohan is a child, and he's been thrown into a death match where his own father is literally banking on Cell making Gohan so angry he'll snap.
So as you watch the events unfold, it's legitimately heartbreaking to see Gohan struggle, especially when you realize that the thing that most likely scares Gohan the most is what lies beneath the surface.
It truly begins with the death of Android 16, and it's this loss of life, due to his own inability to act, that triggers one of the most gorgeous transformations the series has
I was always
ever
wondering
seen,
why he got so
complete
upset.
with its own beautiful, haunting vocal track in the background.
From the bird imagery and the visualization of Gohan's snapping psyche to the explosive scream and the shocked faces
I've
of
rewatched that
everyone around
episode.
him, it's a powerhouse of a moment, and the scene ends with an absolutely striking shot
with the tears
Gohan
going
now
away.
ascended, tears carried upward by his own energy,
and then they dry up and he gets mad.
His piercing eyes.
Even more mad.
It's also worth noting that the visual change to Gohan is striking. The look in his eyes is enough all on its own to send shivers, but the crackling lightning around him, as well as his hair, now standing straight up, gives
I remember I didn't know what Super Saiyan 2 looked like.
His body is brimming with malice and energy.
It's breathtaking, and one of the moments where it's hard to argue that the manga did it better. But after it's
over,
did
not.
We see Gohan putting this form to use, and the sheer amount of violence on display here is disturbing.
Oh,
this is
was it
Gohan's rage made manifest.
So why is this at 3?
One's own children
well,
or something like
it's
that?
Because for everyone who ain't Gohan, it's just Super Saiyan with lightning and different bangs.
Yeah, so while Super Saiyan 2 is an amazing transformation, the only character who it ever really benefits, both visually and narratively, is Gohan. Every other character who attains the form shows zero difference in the way they act, and the visual differences are so subtle that Toriyama literally forgot this form existed.
Yeah, he ain't
really
either. Like we said,
I can only tell from the lightning.
Came back to work on Battle of Gods, he thought Super Saiyan 3 was Super Saiyan 2. And while that is hilarious, and trust me, if there's anyone who's familiar with fans remembering things better than the creators, it's us. It is damning evidence on the behalf of this form.
You'll never see anyone unsure of whether or not a character was using Super Saiyan 3 or God or Blue, but if you watch the fight of Majin Vegeta versus Goku, it'd be nearly impossible to tell either of them are Super Saiyan 2 without the lightning bolts, especially on Vegeta's behalf.
And it's just a power-up to a previous form, with no drawbacks or anything else that makes it particularly special. So while it means everything to Gohan, it essentially becomes a placeholder in between Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3. And while there are definitely fans of this particular form out there,
we are a bit hard-pressed to stan, but damn does it say a lot about it that its narrative use here, combined with the sheer beauty of its introduction, found
which
it
is where my Dragon Ball
experience ended. You think that's one of the reasons
ended?
why the rumor that the series was supposed to end here was so prolific?
Oh, definitely. Especially with how awkwardly the Buu Saga handles Gohan after this.
Yeah, because he was supposed to carry on.
Yeah, that about sums it up, really.
2.
What's number 2 gonna be?
You have to hide me!
Kaiser, you can't pawn this off on us.
I know, but Dragon Ball Super critics are gonna want our heads on pikes.
Oh,
and I would
from Super?
I'm one of them!
I had it at number 7 on my personal list for the record.
Okay.
So my hands are clean of this.
Kaiser, the fact that you're a Dragon Ball Super critic should actually be a point in favor of this form's position.
Okay,
what is it?
You're right. And it doesn't do me any good to not stand by my convictions, so... Ultra Instinct is one of the best
I completely forgot about that one.
Entire series.
Although some people don't actually like to refer to it as a transformation, but more an advanced state of being that one can achieve by training one's body.
Was in the list,
and while this was up for debate for a while in the fan base upon its introduction, it's impossible to deny that the franchise now treats it as a transformation first and foremost.
It's important to get that distinction out of the way, as this particular transformation is very dissimilar to the rest of the list. With a lot of these transformations, the most noticeable difference, besides the visual variance, is that it increases one's power. And with many of the Super Saiyan forms, it's achieved by breaking through a boundary.
The very concept behind Ultra Instinct is rooted in classic martial arts rhetoric and spirituality.
The mind without
idea
mind.
That your body is so harmonized with your mind that you advance so far in your training that conscious thought is no longer required. Your body will now react all on its own, without the ego, and will dodge, parry, block,
that
and
makes sense because it's instinctual and it's like the best form.
Vital waste of time of thought.
100%.
This concept is actually broached in Resurrection F and subsequently Super by Whis during his training with Goku and Vegeta. He tells them both that they're too slow and that their attacks lack power because they're too busy thinking to react accordingly.
Instead of acting on
training is to reach a state where thought is no longer a part of the process. And this is important because while the series doesn't touch back on this for a while, it does come back into play during the final arc of the series, the Tournament of Power.
Now, we're sure you guys at home are well aware of our particular critiques of Super as a whole at this point.
Apparently ending
the Tournament of Power
was in the Super or into GT.
But never let it be
incredible.
said that there weren't a ton of brilliant moments in the Tournament of Power. And many of them involved this form specifically. And the first and maybe most exciting moment of the entire arc is Ultra Instinct's introduction.
Goku has pushed himself to the limit against Universe 11's strongest fighter, Jiren. With even the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken combo falling short, he's up against the wall with very little options
Super Saiyan Blue wasn't in the list at all.
The Omni King's given the go-ahead to absolutely break the rules and use the Spirit Bomb. And Jiren himself even allows Goku the time to charge it out of both respect for his opponent and in hopes to utterly and completely crush him.
This is the first time we've seen the technique since Boo. So
I think we know what number one's going to be.
Here does ring out some nostalgia. But any savvy viewer knows that this has little chance of working. We're obviously nowhere near the climax. But that only makes it even more curious of what could possibly come next. And what follows is a doozy.
Goku launches the attack, fueled by almost everyone of Universe 7, but it does little to budge Jiren, who rebukes the attack and sends it right back against him. Unable to withstand both Jiren's overwhelming power and the massive energy of the Spirit Bomb, it explodes with Goku at the heart of it, and seemingly takes him with it. The dust clears, and he's nowhere to be seen. The entirety of the cast shaken and amazed at the apparent loss of Universe 7's strongest fighter. And in a moment of desperation, and possibly sadness, Beerus calls his name.
Goku.
The Omnikins prepare to declare Goku defeated.
However,
really? How they couldn't tell?
Beerus grins and realizes the truth before declaring,
"Here it comes."
And from the very depths of despair itself, in defiance of the gods and the odds, Goku erupts from the crater in the ring, now adorned in a wicked new blue aura and piercing silver eyes.
Is that blue aura? From there it looks blue. It looks kind of like whitish.
Nobody knows exactly how to make sense of it.
It's like a very light blue.
And then, Goku moves.
And the fight that follows is, let's be honest, one of the best animated and most thrilling moments in all of Dragon Ball.
When they did the fights and they showed clips of it, it looked
songs
fantastic.
In the franchise, we see Goku move and react in ways we've never seen before.
It's really important to note how good the animation during this sequence is, because the very nature of his movements necessitate fluidity and superb character acting. And it is glorious. He finds himself focused only on Jiren, dismissing both Top and Dispo.
And things only get wilder from here as these two go head to head. And while we may seem focused squarely on the events of the transformation here, they demonstrate that Goku has taken the very first step into a new, greater realm through fluid movements and intense targeted attacks.
I don't have a problem with this being there.
No
I think it looks cool.
Form in the series
I don't know much about the importance of it.
Quite like this.
But this is where we need to point out a complicated aspect of this transformation. It's not finished. While Ultra Instinct Sign and plain Ultra Instinct are named separately, there's a lot of debate as to whether or not they're two different forms. Ultra Instinct Sign is really just unmastered Ultra Instinct, the halfway point more than its own specific form. So in our own personal perspective, who gives a crap? We'll have them both in here. It's our list, we're gonna do what we want.
We should also note the visuals of this particular stage. While a vast majority of Goku's transformations necessitate a change in hair color, Sign keeps his hair black, but changes his eyes and gives him this unique, particle-laden aura. While we're not particularly huge fans of the composited aura of God, this aura actually works wonderfully, selling the mysterious and fierce nature of this new form.
We'd see this particular incarnation
really like the
pop
colors.
up approximately 2 times more throughout the rest of the arc, once against Kefla and again against Jiren.
Side note, its use against Kefla is one of the best finishes in the entirety of Dragon Ball. Don't at us.
But unfortunately, this lack of mastery of the technique has a significant drawback. While his ability to dodge and react has been bolstered significantly, his offensive abilities are still lacking, and each time he breaks into Sign, he's left having to compensate for that weakness, until he's finally up against Jiren in what seems to be their final battle.
So it's really a defensive thing.
While he manages to eke his way closer and closer, it ultimately puts him on the losing end against the giant gray wall before him. But finally, when pushed to the absolute limit, and with literally no ground left to stand on, Goku breaks through, shrouded in light, and attacks Jiren with blistering, blinding speed. The gods, in reverence, stand side by side in the seats, and they all acknowledge that Goku has finally achieved Ultra Instinct.
And it's a little disappointing.
Oh no, 69 likes that. That's nice.
Not a total disappointment. The pursuing fight is nothing but pure, unadulterated Sakuga.
But there are a couple of glaring problems.
Silver, or white, depending on the shot, hair on Goku is a mixed bag. It doesn't quite match his aesthetic, and it honestly just left us missing the black hair. It also makes this form feel more in line with other transformations, which honestly only serves to take away from how unique it actually is.
Also, this is one of the worst auras in the entire series. Not because it's altogether ugly looking, although frankly in many shots it looks flat out awful, but in how it covers up so much of the brilliant work on the part of the animators. All this gorgeous Sakuga is going to waste because the post-effects guys went too ham in Adobe After Effects.
Especially once Jiren whips out his full power and we're stuck with 2 ugly auras obscuring the action. But ignoring all of that,
there's a lot
there. Once the battle starts, it feels like the animators and writers are genuinely struggling to convey the spirit of the form. While the fight is utterly intense and, as we've reiterated several times, drop-dead dazzling, it feels like they wanted to focus on the Ultra and less on the Instinct.
And the reason that's such a point of contention regarding this form is that otherwise, Ultra Instinct is incredibly groundbreaking in that it's one of the only forms Goku acquires that's not about making him more powerful. It's about reaching a state of enlightenment, a goal for all martial artists, where the body is elevated beyond the self. It's intimate and mysterious, but most of all, it's something not inherent to his biology. This isn't Super Saiyan. This isn't a transformation through absorption. Its only exclusivity is to martial artists.
It's the culmination of Whis' training, but also of Goku's journey. It's a breakthrough unlike any other before for him, that could very well propel him truly into the realm of the gods.
Also, it comes with 3 of the best animated fights in all of Dragon Ball, outside of Super Broly.
Hopefully, if we ever get an adaptation to the latest Super manga arc, they'll figure out an adjustment to maybe make full Ultra Instinct Goku look a little less busy.
So, if full Ultra Instinct had ended up looking better and they'd better conveyed the concept in the fight, do you guys think it would have made your number 1?
I won't lie. I'd consider it. But I think the audience knows what's coming next.
What do you mean it's 7?
And probably also knows that that is a wall that even Ultra Instinct might have trouble overcoming.
Yep. Number one. It has to be.
The worst part about these number 1 picks isn't that you can see them coming, but is that talking about them is always so goddamn tough. What are we supposed to say about Super Saiyan that literally every Dragon Ball fan hasn't?
It is insane to think that this form didn't even exist until 3/5 into Dragon Ball's manga run. That's right.
Wow.
Out of its 519 chapters, Super Saiyan doesn't even appear until chapter
317.
And yet, it is practically impossible to separate the franchise.
Wait, it has to be Dragon Ball Z because Dragon Ball didn't really have.
One of the biggest twists in all of Dragon Ball was that Goku wasn't just a wee monkey boy. He was a wee alien monkey boy. And with this twist, the series would take Goku and the gang off of Earth and into the stars, and there, he'd be forced to come to blows with the worst the universe had to offer, and also come to terms with his own heritage.
The term Super Saiyan pops up for the first time in this context in the Namek Saga. Most prominently when Goku takes out Recoome, and Vegeta starts yammering on about how he might actually fulfill the legend.
The legendary
the
prophecy.
Term is thrown about a bit, mostly by Vegeta using it to boast erroneously to Frieza, before Goku is left as the tyrant's final opponent.
The ensuing battle is a classic for the franchise, both famous and infamous for its length, but it's worth noting that it's one of the most desperate of the entire series. Frieza's strength is not just overwhelming, it's crushing. Every time Goku pushes himself to the limit, he can barely scratch Frieza, and it's by the skin of his teeth that he's able to pull together a spirit bomb as big as he did.
But even that's not enough to put an end to the fight.
Yeah.
And when Frieza shows his face again, it's accompanied with a twisted, malicious, vengeful smile, as he seemingly murders Piccolo, and then outright murders Krillin. Need a hand!
Turns him into confetti.
Goku's rampage from King Piccolo should tell you anything, you do not kill Krillin.
The transformation in the manga is actually strikingly fast. It's literally 2 pages, and 1 is a full-page spread. So again, while this may seem controversial, it's hard to argue that the anime doesn't sell this moment better than its on-paper counterpart. The music is haunting, frightening, as if a storm has
I can't wait to show Kirby Dragon Ball Z Break, especially me knowing everything I know now about Dragon Ball.
The waves become restless, and Goku's hair starts to stand on end.
Like, I literally couldn't figure out how to spoil if it was shown to me.
By the roar of the Ozaru, Goku lets loose, and the legend is fulfilled.
He is now the Super Saiyan, Son Goku.
Dun, dun, dun.
He has become the very pinnacle of his race. He has come to terms with his heritage and accepted it, and embraced it, as he now sets his piercing green eyes on the monster who made him the last of his kind, and threatens to do the same to his own home.
This form that spikes Goku's hair and turns his eyes green also comes with a wicked power-up, ultimately putting Frieza to shame. But one of the more insidious parts of this transformation is how violent it makes Goku. This is one of the few times we've ever seen him this angry, and his assault on Frieza is brutal.
He killed Krillin, so
by rage. And though Goku slowly brings his temper down over the course of the fight,
understandable.
It's a fascinating wrinkle to the transformation.
In terms of visuals, we can all agree, Super Saiyan somehow looks fucking cool. You'd think with the hair so ridiculous,
we haven't met Broly at this point, have we?
It might come off as silly,
in the story?
But thanks to Toriyama's impeccable sense of design, it comes off as badass, and is balanced out well with Goku's frame and expressions.
I guess not.
Also,
I don't know.
The design saved Toriyama's assistant a lot of time by not having to ink in Goku's black hair anymore. That was literally part of the decision to make him blonde. Not even a joke.
But it doesn't just look good on Goku,
what?
and this is where we see exactly why this form took the top
How is yellow
spot.
easier?
This form is adopted by a lot of different characters. Vegeta,
yeah, like everyone.
Trunks, Gohan, Trunks again,
everyone.
Goten, and even the Universe 6 Saiyans, Kale, Caulifla, and Cabba. And then literally every Saiyan character in the franchise in the hero games and the OVAs. And it's remarkable how so many of these transformations have their own impressive impacts.
It may sound insane for you anime-only watchers, but did you know that we never see the first time Trunks, Gohan, or Vegeta go Super Saiyan in the manga? No joke. Their initial transformations are anime only, and they're some of the best transformations in the series. Especially Trunks, whose devastating loss of his mentor Gohan triggers the transformation in one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in the franchise.
For God's sake, even Bardock's transformation in Episode of Bardock, as infinitely stupid and unnecessary as that special is, still hits the mark with its stellar animation. Even if they totally stole the visual effect of the background's color warping from Broly, achieving Super Saiyan, at least early on, was a huge development for these characters, and it never ceased to entertain when I was but a lad.
It's also the beginning of a long line of Super Saiyan forms to come. 2, 3, 4, God, Blue, Legendary, Rose, Rage, Pseudo Super Saiyan.
Funny thing about that last one, it was made when Toriyama wasn't fully sure how he was going to draw Super Saiyan. So that's why his hair ended up black in the film, but not in the manga. Toei just went with black, making for a lot of confused but still excited kids.
Point being, you wouldn't have like half the forms on this list without this, the father of them all.
Unfortunately, as the series went on, its significance is greatly deflated when children are stumbling into it while playing in their backyard. And while part of that is definitely on purpose, both for the sake of comedy and to help emphasize how far the cast has come from that particular form, for some,
the power curve
cheapens those earned dramatic moments.
But man, when you talk about Super Saiyan becoming ubiquitous, you can easily look outside of the series itself to see how the form has shaped the landscape of anime, video games, and even Western-centric media. When we said it's practically impossible not to associate Dragon Ball with Super Saiyan, we meant it.
Its effect on pop culture cannot be denied. Nor can a majority of the official artwork from the series. Some of these look straight up like album covers. Z-Fighter's about to drop the hottest
straight
album
out of West City.
Yep, Super Saiyan is
Saiyans with attitudes. I'm
done. Going to change for a long time.
Instead of NWA, it's SWA.
Part of that just comes back to Toriyama's most valuable design aesthetic. Less is more. He didn't have to go crazy with the transformation. All he did was stick Goku's hair up and make him blonde and give him green eyes, and wham, bam, don't
yellow eyebrows,
ma'am. You've got one of the most famous transformations in anime.
And with that, I think we're wrapped on 2020.
Oh God, 2020. Can we please be wrapped on 2020? This year's been the longest lifetime of my life.
At least we got through it together, and we got to
2021 wasn't much better.
Celebrating the things we love with the people we love.
Yeah, that's gonna be sagas.
Nah, he meant the ad revenue.
What did I say?
I was talking about you two assholes.
Ad revenue did go up in 2020.
Tons, bro. It's always a blast getting to make these with you both.
But still, you're both right.
Thanks
to all you good boys, girls, and all those in between at home for tuning in.
Hell yeah! What'd you think of the countdown? Any picks you agree with? Disagree with?
Yeah.
What transformations were you hoping to see but didn't quite make the cut?
Give us your
probably
feedback in the comments.
Blue is probably be one of the most requested that wasn't in it.
Until then, have a Merry
What ones
Christmas,
didn't make it? I know there's honorable
Happy
mentions.
New Year. And thanks again for joining us for another DBcember.
The second to last one. There's patrons. I also have a patron. Hey, there's Duck. It's not me, but there's Duck. That's cool. But yeah, shirts. Toss Kaiser. I could be your angel or your devil. Oh, Final Fantasy VII Mission Abridged. So good. So good. I can't wait to show Kirby Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It's going to be so much fun. She hasn't seen the original. Like, she's seen bits and pieces, and she wasn't really into it. But we agreed, if we got her to 12,000 followers on TikTok, that she would react to Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and everybody smashed that. So, that is awesome. That's going to be coming out, like, in July, I think, which is actually going to be... Oh man, what's it going to be? No, it's going to be the 3-year anniversary of when I started Dragon Ball Z Bridge, because I'm pretty sure I also started Dragon Ball Z Bridge around the end of July 2019. So, and then I'm pretty sure I was also doing multiple videos a week, but it's going to be a very, very long journey. Hope you're subscribed for that. We're going to have more DBcember coming out next week, and then there's probably be Home Front for Losers at some point coming out, and I still need to make the videos where it has all of my top 12 transformations is going to be in one video. I was going to do that, but I'm kind of preparing to go to Dallas next weekend, so I'm going to have to, or actually, the time you watch this video, I am in Dallas, hopefully, because I'm flying out on Thursday. So, I'm already in Dallas. If you're in Dallas, if you see me in downtown, say what's up. I'd greatly appreciate it. It'd be awesome. You can follow me on Instagram because I'm going to be posting on my story there. So, should be awesome. I hope you enjoyed this series. I'm looking forward to the sagas. I don't even know how many sagas there are in Dragon Ball Z, technically, after Cell and Boo and all that. So, it's going to be great. I look forward to it. I hope you are too. Hope you subscribe, leave some comments down below. I read every single comment. But until the next video, take care and cue the music.
We were playing as so